I saw you years ago, before you were announced for Star Wars, at a Star Wars convention with your kid, with your son.
Okay.
Am I wrong about this? No.
No, you're right.
And you seemed so happy to be there and sharing Star Wars with your son. What has this experience been like with your love of Star Wars and with, you know what I mean, with family and just everyone being, you know?
It has been impossible, and maybe impossible to describe, but to be such a fan of a story and a cast of characters and a world, and to have kids who you shared that same love and who get it in that way, and then to have any part of it.
Sorry.
It's J.J. Abrams.
What is going on?
Jason Clarke.
How are you? It's good to see you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well.
We
I just saw his stage
Jason
here,
Clarke.
and then I saw it was J.J. Abrams.
Star of stage and screen.
In the teaser trailer, there's a badass new lightsaber. Who came up with that?
Well, it's sort of a long story that I can get into another time, but I will say that what's been funny is since the lightsabers come out, I cannot tell you how many contradictory emails I've received from people who have both defended it with unbelievably detailed graphics.
Yes, I've seen it.
I mean, no, you've not seen what I'm talking about. But I've seen other things. But I've gotten things that are nuts. And I've gotten people who've shown how it'll kill you and how it doesn't make any sense. It's been the funniest thing to see the arguments that have developed over this thing. But it was a number of conversations. It was a sketch that became a whole thing, and this was not done without a lot of conversation, and it's fun to see people have the conversation that we had, but in reverse.
Sure. A lot of people, when they're directing a movie, they see their first cut and they get nervous. Some people say their first cut, they know that it's going to be, they got it. When you saw your first rough cut, were you like, yes?
We're still cutting now.
So you haven't seen a first cut yet?
No, we're cutting the film right now, so we haven't sat down and watched the movie because we're cutting it.
Okay. IMAX. We know you're shooting in IMAX. Is a big percentage in IMAX? Is it a few minutes? Is it a few scenes?
It's really one sequence, so it's not a ton, but it's a good sequence.
And I'm pretty sure it involves the Millennium Falcon.
You'll see. It's fun. It's fun.
My last thing for you. You are obviously doing episode 7 and Ryan is doing 8 and 9. Are you involved at all in like the 8 and 9 and the spin-offs? Are you executive producing? Is it now your baby?
I wouldn't say it's 8 and 9 are my baby. Ryan will be working at least on 8, but I'm exec producing those films, yeah.
And what about Star Trek 3?
We're working on that right now. And yeah, I don't know Star Trek 3 really though.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Oh, so you're saying it'll be like Star Trek Adventures in Space? That
actually is a great title.
Well, I know. What was your reaction when Simon Pegg's writing it?
He's one of the writers, yes.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Were you key in that?
Well, he and I had talked quite a bit about the story. He had a lot of wonderful ideas, and it sort of felt obvious that he was someone who would be a wonderful person to work on the story and help craft the story. So he's working on it.
And we're at the VS Awards.
Yeah.
Obviously, visual effects are a key part of Star Wars, but also the practical effects of the original movies is what people love. Can you talk about balancing the new visual effects that exist with practical effects that everyone came to love?
I feel like the beauty of this age of filmmaking is that there are more tools at your disposal. But it doesn't mean that any of these new tools are automatically the right tools. And there are a lot of situations where we went very much old school, and in fact use CG more to remove things than to add things. Having said that, there are obviously an enormous amount of CG effects in the film, and I can't wait for you to see the combination, but it was very important that we build as many sets as we could, and that the film have a tangible, sort of authentic quality that you believe that these things were actually happening in a real space with real sunlight if it was an exterior scene, or a real, if we could build a big portion of a scene and not have anything be blue screen, do it where we could, it was a very important piece of it.
And you're going to be at Comic-Con?
I hope so.
I'm hoping you're going to be showing some stuff to fans. Want to see stuff.
Well, I could not be more grateful to all the fans, and so I look forward to Comic-Con in any event.
And the trailer's coming.
We're hard at work on everything.
I'll leave you there. I'm
cool.
so happy for you.
Very kind.
I cannot wait.
Thanks, sir.